Okay, so I've worked in the family court for 17 years now. My own case as a litigating person was 5 years. Thankfully, you know what, they're quite rare these days, cases that long. That makes me sound like a real dinosaur for TikTok. I get it. You know, I get it that I'm old enough to be some of your parents, and that makes me feel even older saying it. Over the years, I've seen what works and what doesn't work. That's the long and short of it. I've seen cases from start to finish. I've seen an awful lot of people succeed, and I've seen an awful lot of people mess up. And one thing that always strikes me is they've got far more power to make or break their own case than they ever realise. Sometimes they'll tell me I'm wrong, however, they'll argue with me on TikTok. You've only got to read through the comments on my various videos and see that. But let me tell you 5 ways that you may be the problem. The first one is you refuse to compromise. There's not an inch of wiggle room with you. You know what? Only you know what's for best. No one else knows you're wrong. You're right, they're wrong. So it might be that your ex says 5 hours contacts and you'll say 4. So that if they said 4, you'd say 5. No compromise at all. You know what? Don't dictate. Seriously, don't dictate. Compromise. There's an old saying, you get more flies with honey than vinegar. The second one is you refuse to communicate. Now, I get it. There are times when you don't want to communicate with an ex-partner. If you've been a victim of abuse, that can make things hard. But there are 101 ways you can communicate with your ex-partner. You don't need to be in the same room with them. You don't need to be within arm length from you. There are parenting apps, text messages, WhatsApp, emails, voice messages, although the text ones are better. A whole host of ways here. You can even communicate via solicitors if you absolutely have to, but it's going to cost you money. Believe me, you really don't want to be communicating your child. You don't want to be parenting your child for 16 years with someone you refuse to communicate with. It makes things a lot more difficult. You know, you'll get something that will happen, which is maybe a mistake, maybe an error, maybe an oversight, which is entirely innocent. And before you know it, you're back in court because you won't communicate. Whereas, yeah, my bad, I forgot that, or I thought that, and it's over. The third one is you have no plan whatsoever. No plan at all. It might be that you're the primary carer and what your plan is, no contact. That's it. Nothing. Actually, maybe that's, no, you've not even got that. There's no plan. You've got no plan. You know, your ex makes an application and you're going to fight, but you've got no end goal. You don't know what the future looks like. You haven't got a plan. If you've got no plan, then don't be surprised when you don't get what you want. Have a plan. The next one is you want your ex-partner to do a 180. You want the situation to be a 180. You might be having no contact at all, but all you want is to go into court and for the court to order that the children live with you all of the time and never see the ex. That almost never happens. Almost never. In fact, you know, I've never seen it happen in the 17 years I've worked in the family court. Be a bit realistic. I'm not saying that you can't be ambitious, but if you are going to be ambitious, come up with a schedule that increases towards that. Similarly, if your child has a meaningful relationship with your ex and you decide you're going to stop all contact forever, unlikely to go anywhere unless you can actually demonstrate that there's a really good reason for that to happen. And the final one, and I suspect I'll be picked up on this, is everyone's wrong except you. That will be CAFCASS, social services, the judge, your ex, the ex's solicitor, and randos sitting on TikTok in red jumpers talking to you on a dull Monday morning in January. Everyone is wrong. Do you know what? If everyone's saying the same thing, perhaps they've got a point. Although, if you're minded to think that, you might think it's all a conspiracy and it's all part of a corrupt system and they're all together just to beat you down. I'm telling you it's not. If there is a system like that, I'm not part of it. And I've also not seen in evidence for the last 17 years. I can tell you why your ex solicitor and your solicitor speak together. I can talk about why the CAFCASS officer seems to know the judge. I can talk about that sort of stuff, but I'm telling you, yeah, if everyone's wrong except you, ask yourself what's more likely. There's a big conspiracy out to get you that involves absolutely everyone, or maybe they've got a point and maybe you're the one that's at odds with everyone else. I hope this doesn't make you angry because I'm doing these TikToks to help people. I hope this helps.